In our first video today with Mr. Beaueckstein, we talked about SBA 7A, which is roughly 80% of the transaction volume from Small Business Administration or SBA. Now we're going to talk about SBA 504. What is it? Why is it different? And when should you use it? Bo, thank you for being here.
All right. Well, it's always great to be here. The 504 is really for CRE, commercial real estate, anything real estate, or it could be for heavy machinery, but typically it's going to be real estate. So
Okay.
your self-storage acquisitions, your self-storage construction, you're buying hospitality, hotels, that kind of thing. You can do real estate with the 7A, which we've talked about in previous times, but the 504, the advantage of the 504, it's fixed rates, it's cheaper cost of funds. You can do larger loan amounts. So we talk about a $5 million aggregate of SBA. So on a 504, it's two loans. It's a conventional first loan. Mm-hmm. And then the junior loan or the second is actually the guaranteed piece. So we can do up to 90% of total project costs. We can't build in working capital or anything. This is just actual hard cost. Could be building out tenant improvements and so forth. But we can do up to 90%. So on $1 million deal, 500,000 is senior debt, 400,000 would be the SBA guaranteed piece. So the banks that make these loans, obviously, they're only at 50% loan to value. They're at really good positioning. So you got to come in with 10%, 50% first, 40% second, 10% equity. And so now here's the real beauty of it. Because we're doing a first and second, we could do like an $8 million senior loan and a $5 million second. So we can do a $10 million senior debt, $5 million second. So we can get up to 20 million-ish in funding potentially. If you're buying a larger motel or a self-storage, this is also a great financing tool for rent replacement. I have a CPA firm that I've run for 20 years, and like I should know better to own the real estate because it's gone up, 80 times. And now the building I could have bought for 200 grand is now $2 million. But if you want to do a rent replacement deal, you can utilize the 504. You can build a building. I want to build a building. You can get construction financing, and the advantages are high leverage, 90% financing versus going and getting bank traditional conventional financing where you might be 65 to 70, possibly 75.
In today's environment, dude, you're being gracious. It's 65 or 60 today. The commercial lending environment is tight.
Yeah. So it's great. And then I've talked about this before, we have the 504 green. So a lot of people out there, you have some guests on your show that syndicate deals. Well, instead of having to raise money, you can do a 504 green and you can get collectively up to 16.5 million in SBA aggregate. So what that means is like you can do your $18 million deal, you get 10 million first, a $5.5 million SBA piece, but then you can do 2 or 3 or 4 buildings like that because you're now. So the green portion is simple. We're just adding some kind of energy efficiency.
So let me ask you a question. So one of the guys we talk to each week, Jonathan Twomley, he's currently buying boutique hotels. So in theory, you're buying a boutique hotel that's been out, hasn't seen an update since the 80s. You could do a 504 green if you're going to add energy efficient lights. Maybe you add solar. I don't know, do some other things. That would be something you could come to SBA for.
Yeah, exactly. So what's interesting is a lot of my friends are syndicators, and it's a great model. They make a lot of money potentially if they're good operators, and they can lose a lot of money if they're bad operators. We're starting to see that
the difference. You know what the difference is? The good operators are going to do fine. The ones that were interested in financial engineering, and that's all they ever did was play with Excel spreadsheets, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah. I had a call
will win.
I had a call the other day, and it was like they have a loan coming due. It's like a $30 million. It was a 30-something million acquisition, multifamily, and they did the CapEx renovation. They were on bridge debt, and now they raised over 13 million. But the problem is they haven't got the occupancy up to over 90 because you need 90% occupancy on agency debt. Yeah. So they're basically stuck. They're going to have to do a capital call, or they're going to be forced to sell. So, but going back to
this was coming. Sorry.
Yeah, you did. I've been listening. And I'm seeing it too, because I do some CRE debt placement too, not just SBA. And so I see a bunch of that.
Yeah.
And but going back to the boutique motels, so typically on a syndication model, Jonathan is offering his investors 70% or 60%, and the general partner side is keeping 30 or 40%, probably 30%.
Sure.
Right. So instead of him having to do this, he could essentially go out and only have to put 10% equity injection. And instead of him actually doing a syndication, hiring attorneys, doing private placement memorandum,
Do an SBA loan, be done.
yeah, he gets Michael Zuber and he gets two other guys to put up, you know, a couple $100,000, and they own a small portion, and they don't guarantee the loan, and he's the guarantor. Yeah.
So again, I just want to highlight that again, because earlier we talked about, so again, we're just using Jonathan as an example. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
He finds a boutique hotel. Instead of doing all this complicated stuff to raise $3 million, and I'm just making numbers up here, he could come to, so $3 million would be, let's say it's a $10 million deal. So it's easy math. $10 million, you need 30% down for, and then you get debt on that. So you need $3 million. In reality, you could come to SBA and get 90%. And all I need is $1 million at this point. And I could go get that $1 million from 3 people and give them 11% each. And I still keep, what would that be? 67% of the deal?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
why do not more people do this? I don't know why.
you know, it's so funny how you just brought that up, because somebody reached out the other day to me, and they were buying a self-storage facility. And I'm like, well, he's bringing in partners, and they were going to get a conventional loan from a credit union and put down 30%. I go, well, you could just do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you're operating it, why are you giving up 60 or 70% of the deal, right, to his partners?
Because they're not operators. That's the big difference I saw in the last 2 years, is we had a bunch of financial engineers playing with momentum, and now they're going to hurt a lot of LPs. But if you're a storage operator or a boutique hotel operator, why not use SBA? All you need to get is 10%, give a little bit of equity away. You're in the deal for 0, and you don't got any of this other nonsense. I don't know why more people don't do this.
Yeah, it could be grocery stores, it could be gas stations, anything owner operated, like an actual business, is eligible pretty much for SBA financing, as long as it's not illegal.
I'm going to have to call Jonathan and have a conversation. I'm going to be shocked. And again, so if I wanted to go shop for these things in my market, so again, it could be obviously a boutique hotel, gas stations. I have to operate it. That's the kind of wrinkle in all this.
Well, you can have a general manager. I mean,
right.
you have to be in the
day-to-day. I could be the guy at the top.
Yeah. Like, there's little caveats. Like, if you're buying self-storage and you're going to be completely passive, sometimes they need to see the management agreement if it's like a franchise type of self-storage. Okay. But, you know, there's usually workarounds. So as long as it's a business that you're going to operate in some capacity, it doesn't mean you have to be working at the gas station.
I'm not at the counter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So again, this is why you're the concierge. This is why you're coming back. Everybody's excited by what Cody Sanchez is doing, and they should. But most people need the money, and they need somebody with your experience and skill sets to play with the knobs and levers. And believe me, I will be reaching out to Jonathan Twomley saying, why are you not just getting an SBA deal to buy these boutique hotels? So, Bo, if somebody wanted to have this call with you, how are we doing that?
Please go to beaueckstein.biz. It's a website, and then you're going to click on one rental at a time and get a calendar link. You're going to find a time that works for you. It's going to automatically send you a Zoom link. A lot of you, I have to call you because you don't get the Zoom link, but that's okay. I still do it, but I'm just saying it's going to send you a Zoom link. We're going to meet face to face.
There you go. Bo, again, beaueckstein.biz. It is a website, not an email. I say that again because I've gotten lots of you reaching out to me saying, I can't email Bo. It's not an email. It's a website. Beaueckstein.biz. Click ORAT, or one rental at a time. Get your call scheduled. Thanks, buddy.